to Sciencescope here at the SMTAi in Chicago. I'm joined by Todd O'Neill from Sciencescope. Nice to meet you, Todd.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
So, we're standing here in front of a new AXI 5100 component counter machine, which uses obviously an X-ray source as the principal thing. Component counting has got quite popular in the last few years, but you reckon this machine is going to surpass all the other ones in the field. What makes it different?
First of all, this machine here is an inline machine, so it can be a completely automated system. And the idea is to communicate with inventory storage management systems. So we can count the components, get the results, send the information back to the storage systems to keep an accurate inventory control. So it's all about this Industry 4.0 and automation. So you can also attach board handling systems, loader unloaders that can automatically keep the machine running and then even have them automatically handled and brought over to an inventory storage system and give you that full automated process.
Okay, excellent. So looking closer at the machine, you know, it has the capability to count the components fairly quickly. You'll see on the screen here that this reel here, for example, has got 957 devices on it, but the problem is that there's maybe 3 or 4 components stacked up. Can you explain what we're looking at here?
Sure, because it's an X-ray tube, there's an X-ray beam. So when you have components that are stacked up on the outside, they're already connected. But then with the beam, they become a little bit more connected because of the angle. But our algorithm is smart enough to recognize, if you look at the image here, recognize the shape and the size of the component and then piece them together as they stack up. So here you can see these are one individual component, but it knows there's 2 here, 3 here, 4 here. So it can determine the size of the component and then do the calculation to figure out how many are there. Sometimes you could have components that are 33 or 45 stacked together.
Right.
But our algorithm is smart enough to determine that and give an accurate count.
Right. Yeah. So you know, this image here is really just for the purposes of showing that you get components stacked up. Can you show us an image there where you're actually getting the real count of what's on the...
Of course. Well, this is a real count, but if you look at this here, this is an 0201. So they're much smaller, they don't really stack up. But also you can notice it doesn't matter if it's a loose wound reel.
Right.
I know that can be an issue sometimes, and the reels must be wound completely tight to make the machine work. But whether it's wound tight or loose like this, it doesn't matter. So you can just put the reel in the machine, not worrying about taping it down, and then just go from there, and it will find it.
Excellent. Good. Well, it looks a very versatile. It's quite fast programming to use. What's the cycle time to estimate how many devices are on there?
The scanning time on a batch machine is about 6 seconds for a 7-inch reel. So if you do 2 reels, it's 12 or 13 seconds, and then you have conveyor time if you're doing an inline machine. So if you're doing 1 or 2 reels on an inline machine, the whole tack time can be about 15 seconds for it to come in, do the scanning, and then leave.
So yeah. So basically, people bring it in, get the reel, scan the reel, which identifies the type of device that's on it, and then put it into the machine and scan the reel from there.
Right, so if they're working with an inventory management system, you would want to use a barcode and maybe link a unique identifier or serial number of the manufacturer to that type of component and the UID. That way it keeps a database, it comes in, it scans it, and then it sends the information to the inventory management system.
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So, it's a new machine. Is that available now, or is it going to be available in 3 months, or what's the situation?
It's available now to order. It's about probably 10 to 12 weeks for delivery. We've already got a few out there at a couple locations, but we're starting to build up our inventory right now because we maintain an inventory of all of our products so we can give quick delivery sometimes within a week or even the next day. But right now we're building the inventory for these, and I think 10 to 12 weeks we'll have that and ready to go.
Excellent. Okay, so there you have it, the AXI 5100 from Sciencescope. Todd, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.